My husband and I worked at the same company. One night, I stayed late and heard moaning from his office. My stomach dropped. Slowly, I pushed open the door, and found him with his assistant, half naked. They gasped, and my husband yelled, "This isn't what it looks like." I smiled, pulled out my phone, and said, "Good. Then you won't mind if I send this to HR." The next day, he was unemployed, and homeless. I, 42 female, don't even know where to start. I've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm still shaking as I write. I'm not here to get advice, I just need to let it out. Maybe someone out there has been through something similar. Maybe it'll help me breathe again. My husband, Mark, 45 male, and I met working at the same consulting firm in Makati City, Philippines. We both started young, worked our way up over the years. People knew us as the office couple. We weren't flashy or overly romantic in public, but everyone knew we were solid. We always had each other's backs. We shared everything: lunch breaks, deadlines, late nights, promotions. You name it. We had no kids by choice. We wanted to travel, enjoy our money, build a future that felt full without the responsibility of raising children. We bought a sleek condo in Bonifacio Global City. Every inch of it was designed together, from the furniture to the color of the curtains. We worked in different departments but on the same floor. My office was down the hall from his. He worked in corporate strategy, I handled client operations. It was convenient. It worked. Or I thought it did. About 2 months ago, I had a big report due. I stayed late to get it done. Mark had mentioned earlier that he was also staying late to prep for a presentation with a potential investor. I didn't think anything of it. We had done this dance before. It was close to 8 p.m. when I got up to stretch. The office was mostly empty by then, just a few lights on, the distant hum of air conditioning. I went to the pantry to grab a cup of coffee and passed Mark's office on the way back. That's when I heard it. A soft sound at first. Rhythmic. Then a breathy moan. I froze. I don't even know how long I stood there. At first, I thought maybe I was imagining things. Maybe someone was watching something inappropriate on their phone. But the closer I got, the clearer it became. It wasn't a video. It wasn't imagination. It was real. The door to his office was closed, but not completely. There was a crack. Just enough to see movement. My stomach dropped. I pushed the door open slowly. My hand was shaking so hard I thought I'd drop my coffee. What I saw next still replays in my head every time I close my eyes. Mark was sitting on his office chair, shirt undone, flushed. And Clara, his assistant, was straddling him. Her blouse was halfway off. They both turned when they heard the door. They gasped. Clara scrambled off of him, trying to button her shirt. Mark stood up, tripping over his own pants. He yelled, "This isn't what it looks like." My voice was so calm it scared even me. I pulled out my phone, took a photo, and said, "Good. Then you won't mind if I send this to HR." Neither of them said a word. I walked out. I didn't cry. Not then. I felt nothing. Just cold. The next morning, I emailed the photo to HR with a short message, caught my husband and his assistant having sex in his office after hours. See attached. This is a formal complaint. I copied our department head and the ethics officer. By 10 a.m., Clara was called into HR. By 12:30 p.m., Mark got the call. By 3 p.m., security escorted both of them out of the building. People started whispering. Some gave me pitying looks. Others pretended like nothing happened. Corporate culture is fake like that. That night, I changed the locks on our condo. Mark texted me 17 times. Called me 9. Left a voicemail sobbing. Said it was a mistake. Said it was the first time. Said he still loved me. I didn't answer. He tried showing up at my parents' house in Quezon City. My mom told him to leave. I've been sleeping at a friend's place while I sort everything out. He's apparently staying with one of his old college friends, someone I never really liked. People at work are still talking. I hear snippets in the break room. She caught them? In his own office? That's bold, and stupid. I keep my head down. Focus on my work. Try not to scream. I haven't filed for divorce yet. I haven't spoken to him since that night. I've just been floating through each day like a ghost. Some mornings I wake up and forget for a second. Then I remember. The man I trusted with everything threw it away for 10 minutes in an office chair. And the worst part? I still have no idea why. 3 days after it happened, I finally checked my email again. I'd been avoiding everything, work, messages, notifications. But something in me needed to see if HR had responded. There it was. A short, cold email from the Director of People Management. We've completed our internal review. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Rest assured appropriate action has been taken in accordance with company policy. That was it. No apology. No compassion. Just appropriate action. I stared at the screen, wondering how something so massive in my life could be summed up in one paragraph. Then I saw another email. This one was from Clara. Yes. Clara. She didn't even try to lie. She didn't apologize. She didn't say sorry for what she did. Instead, she wrote this: I know you probably hate me, and I don't blame you. But just so you know, it wasn't just sex. He told me he loved me. I didn't mean to fall for a married man. But he said you were cold. That you didn't care about him anymore. I thought you should know. I nearly threw my laptop across the room. Cold? I cooked his meals. I paid half the bills. I brought him coffee every morning. We traveled to Tokyo last year for his birthday, for God's sake. I rubbed his back when he had those stress migraines. I covered for him when he missed deadlines at work. But sure. I was the cold one. And he loved her? After a few months of flirting behind closed doors? A few secret lunches and late-night messages? I felt a kind of rage I didn't know existed. The kind that makes your hands go numb and your ears ring. But it wasn't over. 2 weeks later, HR called me into a meeting. They said it had come to their attention that I may have violated company privacy policies by taking a photo inside a private office. They were reviewing the situation. Yes. You read that right. I was being investigated. Me. Not the man who had sex with his assistant during work hours. Not the assistant who violated every code of ethics in the handbook. Me. Apparently, Mark had filed a complaint. Said I'd violated his dignity. That was the phrase he used. His dignity. I sat across from the HR officer, holding back laughter and tears at the same time. My hands were shaking again, just like the night it all happened. I asked her, "Are you serious?" She gave me that look. You know the one. Cold. Robotic. Like she was already somewhere else in her head. She said, "We have to investigate all formal complaints. Company policy." I knew what this was. Mark was trying to get revenge. Maybe even blackmail the company into a payout. And somehow, in this upside-down circus, I was the one sitting in a gray meeting room defending myself. I left the office that day and sat in my car for an hour. Just sitting. The city outside my window felt like static. I couldn't hear anything. Couldn't feel anything. Just the faint vibration of my phone buzzing with missed calls from an unknown number. Later, I found out it was Clara's sister. She'd called me 5 times. When I finally answered, she was crying. "I'm sorry," she said. I didn't know what Clara was doing. She told me everything after she got fired. She said she thought he'd leave you. She was waiting. I didn't say anything. Then she dropped a bomb I didn't expect. She's pregnant. My throat closed up. I hung up without saying a word. My legs gave out. I slid to the floor of the kitchen and stayed there for a long time, staring at the tiles. Pregnant. He hadn't just cheated. He hadn't just lied. He hadn't just embarrassed me. He'd made a baby with her. The silence around me felt like glass breaking inside my skull. I called my lawyer the next morning. I thought the worst was over after I found out Clara was pregnant. I was wrong. A week after my lawyer started preparing the divorce papers, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Just my name and our condo's address, handwritten. Inside were printed screenshots. Dozens of them. Emails between Mark and Clara. Chat messages from months ago. Calendar invites titled coffee that were actually hotel reservations. And not just that. There were messages between Mark and another woman. Different name. Different number. Same story. Can't stop thinking about last night. Wife's working late again tonight, winky face, you always make me feel alive. I felt sick. I didn't recognize the name. Jessa. Whoever she wasn't from the office. And judging by the timestamps, he was talking to both women at the same time. 3 lives. 1 man. I couldn't tell who sent the envelope. No note. Just evidence, neatly stacked and wrapped with a thin rubber band. I called my lawyer again. She sighed when I told her. Honestly, she said, this might actually help your case. But that wasn't enough for me. I needed to know who sent those messages. Why now? The next twist hit me the following week. I was called in for another HR meeting. This time, they said a second complaint had been filed against me. Apparently, Clara had spoken to a lawyer. And was now claiming I had intentionally exposed her to workplace harassment by sharing the photo I took with multiple parties. Never mind the fact that I only sent it to HR. Never mind that she had sex with a married coworker during work hours. No, now I was the threat. They said I was on temporary administrative leave while they completed the investigation. They said it wasn't a punishment. It felt like a punishment. So there I was. Alone in a quiet condo. Locked out of the company I'd poured 15 years of my life into. And my soon-to-be ex-husband? Still trying to talk. He texted again. This time, he begged to meet in person. Said it was important. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Public place. Broad daylight. A cafe in Greenbelt. He looked thinner. Tired. A bit older. I didn't care. He opened with, I messed up. I didn't say anything. Then he said something that nearly made me drop my coffee cup. I'm not sure if the baby is mine. I blinked. What? He rubbed his face. Clara's been seeing someone else. Some guy from her church group. She admitted it when I told her I couldn't leave you right away. I stared at him, trying to figure out if he was lying, trying to manipulate me, or if this was just the next chapter of a never-ending soap opera. Then he said it. I think someone's trying to set me up. I laughed. Out loud. He leaned in and whispered, you got those screenshots in the mail, right? I didn't send them. Clara didn't either. Someone's trying to destroy both of us. I was still laughing. Because the idea of him being the victim was the most ridiculous thing I'd heard in months. But deep down, something didn't sit right. Why would someone send me all of that? Who even had access to his phone or emails? And just like that, another piece fell into place. I remembered a woman from his old department, back before he got promoted. She was fired under weird circumstances a year ago. Her name was Rena. She and Mark used to be close. Too close. I hadn't thought of her in forever. Until I got an anonymous message on Instagram that night. Check your husband's cloud backups. He's not as good at deleting things as he thinks he is. You deserve to know everything. That was it. No name. No photo. Just that one message. I dug up the login Mark once gave me for his shared drive when we were still planning our Japan itinerary last year. He never changed the password. And what I found was worse than I imagined. So, where did we leave off? Ah yes, the cloud backup. I opened the drive. My hands were shaking again. There were folders labeled by year, then by month. I clicked through them, one by one. At first, it was normal stuff. Work reports. Photos from trips. A few random files. Then I found the hidden folder. Titled _archive. Inside, dozens of videos. Screenshots. Messages. And not just Clara. Not just Jessa. There were others. Names I didn't recognize. Faces I'd never seen before. Hotel receipts, Uber logs, chats on Telegram. Some of these files were years old. He'd been cheating on me long before Clara. Long before Jessa. This wasn't a mistake. It was a lifestyle. He recorded some of it. Why, I don't know. For the thrill? For memory? For ego? I stared at my screen for a long time. The pain was physical. My chest hurt. My ears buzzed. Then I called him. Told him to meet me at the condo in 1 hour. Said it was important. When he walked in, I had everything loaded onto the TV screen. A still shot of him and one of the women, half naked in some hotel room in Ortigas. He froze. What is this? You tell me. He started stammering. I don't, these are old. Before we were married. Some are fake, I threw the remote at the couch. Shut up, Mark. Just shut up. You've been doing this for years. Clara wasn't the first. She wasn't the second. She was just the one that got caught. He sat down. Hands in his hair. Silent for a long time. Then he started crying. Not gentle crying. Full-on sobbing. Ugly. Loud. I don't know why I did it, he choked out. I felt empty. I needed something else. I thought it didn't matter. I thought I could control it. I didn't want to hurt you. Too late. He kept talking. Said his father cheated on his mother. That he thought he was better. That he wanted to be better. It didn't matter anymore. I wasn't crying. I felt hollow. Like I had nothing left to give. Then, another twist. Mark's sister showed up. She'd been texting him and got worried when he stopped answering. I forgot I gave her a spare key once, years ago. She walked in mid-confession. Saw the video still on the screen. Froze. What the hell, Mark? He tried to explain, again. She cut him off. You destroyed everything. You had a woman who loved you. And you threw it away for what? To feel powerful? He didn't answer. She turned to me. I'm sorry. For everything. That was the moment I broke. Not when I caught him. Not when I saw the photos. But when someone else finally saw me. I sobbed. For real this time. Years of grief came out in gasps and shaking hands. Mark's sister helped me pack a bag. She said I needed space. Mark just sat there. Useless. Quiet. As I left, I paused at the door. You don't get to say you're sorry and walk away from this clean, I told him. You wrecked something real. And no amount of crying changes that. He didn't follow me. In the days that followed, he texted me nonstop. Messages of apology. Pleased to meet. Promises to get therapy. Claims that he could change. I didn't reply. HR cleared me. Said there wasn't enough evidence that I violated any policies. Clara's complaint was dropped once her own screenshot surfaced. Thank you, anonymous envelope. She never contacted me again. I later heard she moved back in with her parents. No baby bump. Probably lied about the pregnancy to keep him. Jessa? I still don't know who she is. Maybe I never will. Mark ended up resigning from the company before they could officially fire him. Word got around. People stared less now, but I could still feel it when I walked into a room. It's been 4 months since everything exploded. The divorce is final. I kept the condo. He didn't fight me on it. Probably too ashamed or too tired. I've been going to therapy. Still angry. Still hurt. But lighter, in a weird way. Like I finally stepped out of a room full of smoke and could breathe again. I walk more now. I eat alone in cafes. I sit by myself without feeling lonely. I'm not healed or stronger than ever or any of those cheesy things. I'm just moving forward. People tell me I was brave. I don't feel brave. I feel like a woman who was pushed too far, who finally had enough. If you're reading this and something feels off in your own life, listen to that voice. Even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. You deserve honesty. You deserve peace. As for me? I don't know what's next. But I know this, I'm not letting anyone dim my light again. Not ever.